we like to share information about how we've been able to enable our relationship that has lasted some 38 years. Yes, 38 years. And how we met. I think that's really important. Do you want to say anything about that?
No, we just get letters from people over the years, and also when we do our workshops,
Yes.
and people come up to us all the time and say, "Well, how did you guys meet?" So we wanted to do answer some of these letters through YouTube, not telling people how to do and live their life, but just sharing what worked for us and how we
Yes,
kept together
what
for
worked for
38
us.
years with 3 kids and who are now grown and
Yes. 30,
having
31, 32 years of age.
and having a business, working together as a business with a lot of people um, can't work together with business. So we're
That's
just
right.
sharing that
That's right.
background.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how we initially met one another. The location was Los Angeles, California. I had just terminated my employment with the probation department where I worked for 5 years, and was a Tuesday night, I believe it was, and I think I wanted to just get out the house and relax, and under a lot of pressure because my funds were running low in terms of my savings account, and so I went out and went to the club. And my favorite location at the club was to stand by the DJ booth and survey the entire floor and everyone who might be in the club and sort of look it over. And so I looked your way and remember seeing you with 4 of your girlfriends and very attractive ladies, but I just locked in on you. I just said, who is this lady? And noticed at the time that I initially spotted you that there was a guy who was with you and he was hanging all over you. So I thought it might have been your boyfriend or someone who had come there with you. You guys danced a few times, and so I went off and danced a couple of times myself and came back and noticed that he had left. And so I said, let me go over and introduce myself. And
I think you ran them off.
that's what she says. I didn't run him off. I remember, here's my version of it, okay? My version is that I noticed her, went off and danced a few times with some other ladies, came back and she was still there with her friends, but the guy had left. Mm-hmm. So I walked over and introduced myself. We danced a couple of times, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, trying to find out more about you, what I was thinking of, what was on my mind. Then you said you were getting ready to leave, you and your girlfriends, who were in the television industry, worked in the television industry. And so I said, well, I'll wait for you outside the club. Mm-hmm. Walked out and waited for you about 10 or 15 minutes. Was getting a little impatient. But I said, let me be patient and maybe you'll eventually come out. You came out, gave me your work number, as I recall. And I said, well, to myself, I said, well, she must be involved with someone, or maybe she's got a relationship. But I didn't care because I had just ended a relationship, wanted to get a chance to know you, felt your energy, really felt positive and magical, and we could create something, to do something wonderful together. And so we went from there. What do you call?
Yeah, well, you said that you were impatient waiting for me because I didn't think, you said you're going to wait outside, and I didn't think you were going to really come outside and wait. That was a shock to see you leaning up against the car door, and my friends and I'd say, oh, he's here. He's waiting to
Well,
talk
it wasn't
to
a car door. I'm not sure.
Well, it was a car.
It was outside the club was a patio that you walked out onto, and I was standing out on the patio waiting for you. And then you showed up,
right?
And we exchanged information, and we took it from there. I think we talked to each other for a while, really had a wonderful connection. Found out that we both attended the same identical church, had a lot in common,
right?
And felt good about the exchange.
And 6 months later,
yes,
we were married.
6 months.
6 months later. And I think back, when we do a lot of presentations and workshops and so talking to young women, I always remind them how when you least expect it, sometimes people will show up. Not to give up faith, and knowing that the right person is there, and it doesn't have to be a long relationship or a long engagement for it to work. You do want to know someone and know the person, but the main thing is believing and having your heart open. When you're trying to hunt and trying to make a situation happen and saying, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet somebody or whatever it is, usually that doesn't work out, because you're telling the universe, I got to get. And so the universe says, yes, get in the future. But when you're just opening up your heart and just saying, I'm just going out to have a good time and just enjoying myself, what happens is, it seems like out of nowhere, someone comes. That's what a lot of people say. Well, I met my husband or my wife in the supermarket, or someplace that you never,
church.
or a church. Well, yeah, but oftentimes it's someplace that they don't even expect. And one of the reasons is because your mind wasn't on trying to lure someone in. It was just trying to be your natural self, and you attract people to you when your heart is open.
Exactly. I think statistically, they say that when you expect to meet someone at a restaurant or nightclub, and expect that relationship to last any length of time, it's probably not going to happen. Statistically, I think they say 2%.
Yeah.
2% is what they indicate.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Again, people lock in on stuff like that, and say, but what we're trying to say to you is that because they said least likely, it doesn't matter. You have a special life, and what is true for other people is not necessarily true for you. The main thing I think for myself was learning is just knowing that my heart was open, because there had been times when I went out and said, oh, I'm going to meet somebody, I'm going to, whatever. And then came home and felt very lonely.
Didn't attract anybody.
Exactly. Didn't even speak to anyone, So again, it's about keeping your heart open.
Keeping your heart open.
And believing.
Exactly.
Believing that the right person is there for you.
No matter the situation, location, or circumstances.
Yeah.
If you got your heart open, anything is possible.